QB rankings. This might take. I'll try to zip through these. So let's just look at the point totals first for each ranking, and then we'll go back and kind of give our thoughts. Okay. So Johnny, who do we have? So here we have Mahomes getting the second most first place points. Allen has the highest first place points, and Hurts comes in with the only other QB that received first place votes. And you can see at the bottom, Allen received 8, Mahomes 7, and Hurts 5. All right, who do we have in the next slide here for the second? Here you can see QB2. These players all received QB2 votes. And here you can see Allen received 8 again, Hurts 7, Mahomes 2, Tagovailoa and Purdy each received 1 vote. And who do we have in the next slide here, Johnny? Each of these received QB3 votes. Again, this is for redraft leagues. Okay, so you only need the QB for one season. Mahomes got 8, Allen 4, Hurts 2, Jackson makes an appearance with Tagovailoa. And who do we have for QB4? So here you can see Kirk Cousins makes an appearance, and Herbert makes an appearance. All right, and let's see QB5. Goff. Wow. So Goff and Burrow has been added. So basically, it looks like Mahomes would be the solid number 1 choice for most players, with Allen as a number 2, Hurts as number 3, with 4 and 5 being a toss up, perhaps. Well, probably Tua at number 4, and it looks like maybe a toss up of Herbert and Jackson at number 5. What are you thinking, Pez, in a redraft?
This is how I look at this with how people have voted. I'm just having a quick look through. Yeah. To me, this is just pure recency bias on their picking, because I read it as Allen will be number 1, and that's right because he's number 1. He's the number 1 QB at the moment in point scoring. Mahomes is getting back up there slowly. He's 4th, but I think Herbert, with the way he's playing at the moment, let me just get the thing up. I think Herbert.
This is a redraft.
Probably should be higher, really.
Yeah. So currently, Herbert in the Orkney Bowl is QB 13.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it now. It goes Allen, Hurts, Tua, Mahomes, Goff,
scoring
Cousins,
than ours? Because in my league,
Russell Wilson,
the Orkney Bowl league, we have Mahomes with 568, Allen with 557, and then Hurts with 540, Jackson with 524, and Burrow with 509.
I was looking. I'm on the Orkney Bowl ones here now. This might just be, overall fantasy rankings, not in the in the Orkney
I was
Bowl
looking at.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I was looking at projections. I apologize. Yeah. So the stats.
Yeah. So
Allen at 193, Hurts 190.
Yeah. So I've got the
181, Mahomes 171, and then Goff 164. Yeah. Okay.
I get where people are coming from,
Johnny. Thank you.
With it. I just feel like Allen, yeah, number 1, definitely. I think Tua should be higher in the ranking. And Herbert, the thing with Herbert, with the recency bias and why he's dropped so long, you got to remember he's dropped down to 14, but all them other quarterbacks who are above him have all played an extra game. So don't forget that. I think Herbert should be higher.
Yeah.
because as
Well,
I think Johnny is doing now, I think
my
he's
top five,
looking
I had Mahomes number one. I'm going to put
before the
Mahomes because he's
bye.
always very consistent. Allen was number two for me. And then I believe I had Hurts as number three, Tua at number four, and I had Jackson at number five, is what my list in the redraft. And
In the redraft, I'd go the same. It is the top three the top three are
right,
Allen, Mahomes, Hurts, whichever way you want to spin them around. So I do agree with that. You can't really argue in any order you put them. Really, they're just in their own little tier. And then I'd say Herbert for me, Herbert, Tua,
well, that's your top five.
and I'd say for
Yeah,
me it's like it's Herbert and Tua for me.
yeah.
At this moment in time.
I think you can't, if in a redraft league, you can't go wrong with those five. And I'm going to eat crow on this. I told Craig, if you remember our first episode with Craig, I said I think Jackson owners are going to regret it. And Craig doesn't seem to be too happy in the group chat. But Jackson has been, balling out, man. I think he's been playing well this season. But I don't know. Where is he ranking in the overall scoring? Number 7, I guess. Something like that. Number six. Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, I think he's at 7.
I've been wrong on that. I was wrong. Yeah, Jackson is solid. So, Johnny, let's look at our dynasty rankings. Let's see if they've
true.
changed
He's
any
33, 30, 32.
in the dynasty league.
I think with Lamar as well, I think people get sometimes leave fantasy brain and watch the Ravens and how much they're struggling and kind of lump him in it because he hasn't been doing too bad. And I've kind of done that myself, to be honest. But he has had some decent scores.
See these numbers? Mahomes in a dynasty by far. It's not even close, is it? Right? And mine in the dynasty, I had Mahomes number 1.
I'd agree with that.
And then I had Allen number 2. Almost the exact same. Hurts was number 3. No, I think I had Tua number 3 in dynasty. Hurts as number 4, and I put Burrow as number 5. I changed Jackson for Burrow in dynasty because I think Burrow is not going to be injured.
That one Purdy vote on the QB1 for dynasty is definitely a Niners fan. No one else would put that except for a Niners fan.
Wow, these numbers are so much different than the redraft. We got Tua as a number 2 QB. Yeah, I can see it. He's lighting it up.
Actually, the person who voted for Purdy as a QB1 was Batch 5445. Is that Gatch? Is that the Brown? Is that Batch?
A Browns fan.
Batcher. There you go. You had him at not. You had Purdy at number 2.
A Browns fan.
So so here you have obviously 8 for Allen, 4 for
horrendous.
3 for Burrow, 2 for
That's horrendous. That's horrendous.
I can see it because he's with a young team. He's young. Shanahan he's not going anywhere. Purdy could be a top 5 QB for years.
Stop it, Pork. Stop it. We're not talking about it. I just can't buy it. I'm not talking about it. I'm not engaging in that conversation.
How many votes did he get? 1 vote. Yeah.
No, that's QB 3. Mr. Glass himself has made QB 3.
I can see it. I don't blame him. I can see it. But he might miss the rest of the season.
Before the shoulder.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to.
Before the shoulder, he was looking good.
Rookie of the year. We have two what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Tua's holding up
Tua.
all right. He's put some beef on. We're
Yeah,
all good.
I'm not a Dolphins.
Doesn't run the football.
I'm not a Dolphins fan, but I'm not a Dolphins hater either. They're just okay. They're the Dolphins, but I am a Tua fan, and he makes me want to be and pull
Yeah.
for the Dolphins. They're an exciting team, and I like Tua do well.
So here's an
Yeah,
some
Lawrence.
interesting names at 4. Stroud. I do like that because I feel
Wait,
in
how do we
Dynasty,
have
I feel
Jackson
like
after
Stroud,
Lamar?
with the base of that team they've made.
Is the Jackson the passer and Lamar the runner?
What was that? Oh, yeah. I saw Tua and Tunga Vailoa on two.
One is the injured Tua. One is
Split
the
personalities.
Tagovailoa is the healthy Tua.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No, don't. There had so many people, but Tua,
That's interesting, though. So,
Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
put
had.
Tua.
I
think
was
what
going
we
through
can
them all
do,
because some people put Lamar, some people put Jackson.
I think we got a few people out there that know how to use Excel to create spreadsheets that we can just enter in the number point totals, and it will give the rankings a lot easier than this. But yeah, this is good. I like this. I like seeing the breakdown. Who do we got at number 5,
Well,
Johnny?
I can do it different next week, but I didn't really know what you wanted to done. So
Yeah, this is great. I kind of like this. I love seeing how it changes. Fields. Wow, somebody put Fields in a top 5 dynasty QB.
Party's there again.
Who is that?
do you know what's crazy? You do this at the start of the year for
Much
Dynasty,
higher.
and
Much higher,
Fields
yeah.
is 1-2 for Dynasty. And you can see it's interesting though, because you can see people's voting, and it's the recency bias where some of these numbers are coming from. With Fields not doing so well recently, so he's dropped right down. But really, at the start of the year, he was like top 2 Dynasty. Herbert would have been a lot higher. I thought in Dynasty, Herbert would have been a lot higher. Tua would have been a lot higher.
Yeah.
Burrow's
The calf injury.
only recently got mentioned, but that's because of the injury. Before the start of the season. Before the start of the season, you're putting him in Dynasty. What is great, it is great to see people's.
If you saw
to see how it all changes after like 6 games.
Which way they were supposed to be voting. Like I voted on what I thought was how they're doing so far in the Orkney League when it came to the redraft. Not who I would normally pick from the start. So that's why I think you're getting so many different. Like at the start of the year, I would never have picked Stroud in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right?
It definitely shows
there were 11 different QBs ranked as a top 5 guy in Dynasty. Yeah? Because here we don't have Allen or Mahomes. Of course, they're not going to be top 5 as a top number 5 vote, right? So we got 9 guys here, plus Allen, plus Mahomes.
I'm so surprised.
On 5, yeah.
I'm so surprised.
12, because Lawrence isn't. He had some top 3 votes.
Yeah.
So there's 12 QBs, 12 separate QBs. That's a good thing. Actually, it makes things exciting.
It is interesting though to see people's opinions, because I personally would have thought Hurts wouldn't have got a vote at QB5 because he'd be a lot higher. Jackson would have been a lot higher. Tua would have been higher. Herbert would have been higher. And then the Fields, you understand it because recency bias. Fields should be 4 or 5 because he's only just started showing it. I like to see Stroud at QB4, QB5 because he's showing enough at the moment, but he needs to prove he got the longevity for Dynasty. Richardson's starting to get more there, but that's probably because of the injury. If he didn't get injured, Richardson in Dynasty will be a lot higher just because he's shown us everything we wanted to see: the running, the passing, the points, and then Purdy. It's interesting that Purdy's that one guy who's had one vote scattered around. So it's like no one truly. I think for me, that shows me that I think everyone's a bit on the fence with Purdy still. I don't think anyone's, unless you're a Niners fan, has been Purdy pilled to believing he's great because he's not had. I don't think he's had more than one vote on any page. So,
I
Burrow at QB5.
Just because of
the amount of votes. Yeah, the amount of votes
Purdy
Burrow's got QB5 is quite.
Purdy got 2 votes in the
Quite
redraft
interesting.
for redraft 5. So, but yeah, nothing more than that, to be honest.
He's consistent. I can see.
Yeah, I can see it. He is consistent. But it is interesting. It's interesting to see where people's heads are at.
I like this. I think this is something that we can do more often. I think we're going to do. What position should we do for next?
Well, I'll set up a sheet probably either later on today or tomorrow for running back.
I think wide receiver will be our last.
We might as well go.
Right, so running back,
so
tight end.
We'll do running back, and what we're going to do is what Kelly said earlier on is I'll not do it quite the same way. I'll just do it. You list your 1 to 5 in each section, and then there'll be a point system. So it'll be 5 points for number 1, 4 points for number 2, and then that way we'll find out the average points over who's the top.
Whoever has the highest point total will be number 1.
I can still do the thing that is for a bit of a laugh so we can see it.
Yeah.
But we'll have a separate one for. So I'll have 2. We'll have the graph so we can see how people voted, like that. But I'll also do the chart so you can see who's number 1 overall, points wise.
That's a good idea, Johnny. I think that's perfect.
But I'll start up tonight, and if I put in if I get the results in by Saturday, then I'll count it up on Sunday.
All right, yeah. I think this is really gives me some insight on some other leagues. Some other people might be thinking about QBs.